Welcome back to One on One with Mr. U. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. U. In studio with us, award-winning author, leadership mentor, founder of Parent Child Connect, and all-around Renaissance man, Olaolu Ogunyemi is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to have you in the house, man.
What's going on, Mr. U? I'm so happy to be here. Hey, let me tell you, man, that you need to let that music run a little bit longer, man, because that's a vibe right there. I was dancing, then the camera flipped on. I'm like, oh shoot, it's time. Let me straighten up and get ready. It's a pleasure to be here, brother.
Same here, but I let the pitch a little bit at the end so we can have some more music, man. It's infectious, man. All the songs for our podcast, man. I could be partial, but I just get into them. I'm like, damn. I don't want them to stop. 17 seconds ain't enough. But good to have you in the house, man. Customarily, I ask all of our guests to share about their childhood, their upbringing. Sometimes it's complicated and got layers to it. Sometimes it's pretty easy, man. But share yours with us, no matter what it is, man. Your childhood, your upbringing. How'd you get from there to here?
All right. So like you said, I'm Olaolu Ogunyemi. I grew up in Ruston, Louisiana. I'm the fifth of six children. I like to consider myself the best of all of them. But realistically, I was the runt because everybody else is a little bit more successful than I am in my family. So I was a runt. It's okay. I'll admit it. But very great, close-knit family. We talk every day. My siblings and I, we have a group, our WhatsApp, and we talk every day. We check in on each other. It's just the environment that my parents built for us growing up. I grew up, like I said, it was four boys, and we were all spread, three of us spread 2 years apart, and my younger brother's 5 years younger than me. Then my two older sisters are 14 and 12 years older than me. So a huge spread family, big house, but that has a lot to do with who I am today. I'm a huge family man. I believe in sibling care. I believe in taking care of each other. I believe in teamwork. So that all came from my parents. My dad works at Grambling State University still. He's been there for almost 40 years at this point. But he's been in education, in higher education for his entire career. And so he and my mom instilled education in the home. We all knew that we were going to college from the day we were born. Till we finally graduate college, some cum laude, some thank you laude. But regardless, we all graduated. So then when I commissioned from Grambling State University, as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps with a degree in computer information systems. I had a brief stint as a computer programming analyst at Tyson Foods, which is all credit to my advisor who told me that I need to go apply. And then I went active duty in the Marine Corps, and the rest has been history. It's been a wonderful time. I learned a lot over my last several years in the Marine Corps. And yeah, I credit a lot of it to my upbringing there in Ruston.
You know, you definitely sound like you were raised well, man. It's been a short conversation between you and I, but I can tell immediately that there's been some strong instruction that you've received. I can definitely see that. What would you say is your biggest takeaway from your time in the military? I'm asking that because it's not loaded or anything. It's just that these days it has such a connotation attached to it because of all that's going on in our world. I love to hear how it's grown you, how you shifted your mindset from now you're in civilian life. Biggest takeaway from being in the military, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually still active duty, but my biggest takeaway, yes, sir, absolutely. So my biggest takeaway it has been the structure. So everything that we do, we always talk. When you think military, you think regiments, you think structure, you think timelines, and all these things, and that's important. Not just for your everyday life as a service member, but that's important for your life just as a normal human being. Because once you start applying structure to your life, you're able to start establishing repeatable processes that can help you build success. And so that's one of the biggest things I've taken from the military is that you have the structure. You've learned now how to wake up early in the morning. You've learned how to manage people. You learn how to manage time. You learn how to manage resources. That's one of the biggest things that we learned coming out. Because I'm an officer, so officer candidate school. I immediately checked into my first job, and I was in charge of 80 people. You're talking about intimidating. That was extremely intimidating for me because I had no idea what to tell some of them. Some of them were young and quite frankly naive like me. And then there's others. I had one that already had 19 and a half years in, and it was always interesting trying to give him advice or tips. I started off our relationship trying to tell him how to do his job, and you can imagine that didn't go over well. But these are things that you learn. You learn how to build relationships with people. You learn how to, again, provide resources to people. And those are the things that I've been able to take away amongst many other things. But I'll just stop there.
No, that's good. That's good. I There's one thing that comes to mind, and you may not answer this, but scariest time throughout your training in the Marines. There's one thing I'm thinking about that could be your answer, but what would you say is the scariest time or the scariest moment for you?
My scariest moment is probably the first time I was halfway up. The first time I was halfway up a rope and I couldn't go any higher. I was stuck. We were doing a double obstacle course in very early training, and me being the guy I am, I've worked on upper body my whole life, and I didn't really care about the form for the rope climb because you could muscle your way through it. But for some reason that day, that second go around in the obstacle course, I got stuck about 3/4 of the way up, and I thought I would just like try to muscle my way up, and I start shaking on the rope. I'm about to fall off this thing, and it's a pretty high. I think it's like 20 feet high. So if I was 3/4 of the way up, do the math and know that if I would have fallen, it's going to hurt pretty badly. So I would say this moment was hearing people say, "Hurry up and get up the rope," yelling at the bottom, and knowing that I wasn't about to climb any higher. So I was like, well, either I'm gonna fail or I'm gonna just climb down and accept my fate as that I just literally failed this obstacle course. So that's what I had to do. I just failed it, and then I had to go back. And that's one of the things I learned is that yes, I failed. It was public. It couldn't have been more public because I was in the highest place on the doggone obstacle course, which is up on the rope. But what I learned is that I was able to go back and learn, be able to train myself to get ready for that rope. It was about the technique. I didn't have the technique down, and that's a life lesson. First of all, you should prep. Make sure you're not just overly confident. It gave me a check in humility because I was in pretty decent shape until I was standing there dangling on the rope. And then it taught me about incremental gains, and that's all kinds of health: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Those mental gains are important. So I was going in the gym, and I legitimately, when I hung on a rope, I just felt with every portion of my body that got tired after I hung there for about 30 to 45 seconds. And I trained those individually, I isolated them. And that's the way I looked at it. And I started thinking about the incremental gains that I can make that can make me better for the rope climb in the future.
I love it, man. So I would think about something that had to do with water. That was totally not what I was thinking. I thought that would be the hardest thing you ever done, but apparently it's not. So it's all good.
But yeah, believe it or not, the water wasn't too bad. I think it's just because you have this confidence going in. I was like, I can't fail. I mean, at that point, I was like, yeah, whatever. They told me to jump in. Okay, I'll jump in. I'll be fine. When I was in the underwater egress training, for the helicopter egress training, it was like, hey, you're gonna do this. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll be fine. And it's just, I guess that's just your mindset. You sort of just click off a portion of your brain that's actually intellectual, and you just do what Marines do. I think that's the way I dealt with it.
If you don't make a t-shirt of this and show me the picture, I'm going to be very disappointed with you. Whatever, I'll be fine. That's a t-shirt. It's a fantastic idea. You better get it before somebody else does. That's a great idea. Whatever, period. I'll be fine. I love it. Okay. I'm happy you make money here. Okay, it's all good. All right. So you've done a lot of things where you've had your story and your children's book, which we talk about in a little bit, featured in Forbes and the YouVersion and Bible app, military family magazines. Tell me now, people that come on our show, they have stats like that. And I don't always talk about it. Normally, I don't talk about it at all. But I'm curious in this case, how you got those opportunities, because I think it's valuable to not just look at the accolades, but find out how you got there. How did you get the opportunity? People out here who are watching our show and listening to our show on audio that want to do the same, they want the same kind of exposure, but they have no idea where to start. They don't have anybody to help them. They have no connections that are viable enough to help them get there. Yeah, how you got those opportunities, man? That's pretty awesome, man. Pretty impressive.
Thank you. So I would say the first thing you need to do is start practicing. That you start practicing as if you already have 1 million followers. You already have every opportunity that you're talking about. So that's what I started doing. You'll look at my blog and you'll see almost 200 blogs and articles. You'll see that I started voice recording. You'll see that I've done videos. You see, and my family, my wife will tell you that there's been many times when I'm standing there rehearsing in the mirror, talking about these things, and you catch yourself doing it. You're going through the motions, and then you realize that you're not doing it in your head like you thought you were. And sometimes, it's 4:30 in the morning and you're waking your wife up. Maybe not the most ideal circumstance, but this is the way I started preparing myself: is practice, practice, practice. Not like AI. We're talking about practice. Yes, we're talking about practice. Get in there and invest time learning and acting like you already are where you want to be. That's the first thing. The second thing is go find somebody who is actually doing what you want to do. For me, let's talk about the YouVersion Bible app, for example. I saw like I started clicking on profiles, started getting to know these people a little bit, started following them on Instagram, started connecting with them on LinkedIn and things of that nature. And really it was about not just building my network, but more so about studying them and understanding, okay, what are they talking about? What does their content look like? Why are people attracted to their content? And what can I provide that's, this niche to my platform, where it still speaks to everybody else, but it's still quality. So I started studying people. One in particular is Anthony O'Neill. He's one that I saw. He's been doing a lot of things. He worked with Dave Ramsey. I believe he was a youth pastor before that. So he's been doing a lot of things about really just educating people on finances. And then he's grown his platform, his business from there. So I started looking at people and studying them. Okay, what is he doing? How are his emails structured and all these kind of things? And then the last thing I'll say is pitch. And when I say that, I advise people to pitch and know what you're actually asking for. I have punted this one in the stands before, and luckily there have been people who are gracious enough to give me a second chance. There's been times where I reached out to people with this, oh, please just connect with me, and I'll do whatever you take. You plug me in when you need me, blah, blah, blah. And then when they say, okay, yeah, let's have a call. And you get on the call and they're like, okay, so what do you want? What are you asking me for? There was one time this guy asked me that first thing. Hey, how's it going? Okay, what can I do for you? And I sat there on the phone and I beat around the bush. I mean, I talked, I went all over the place. And what it came down to is I legitimately didn't know what I wanted to offer him. So refine your pitch, refine your offer, know exactly what you want to do before you start pitching people. Have an idea for if you want to write or contribute to a Forbes article, have an idea of what you want to contribute, and then reach out to people. Have the framework, know what's popular, like study, read. Like these are things that are important. You have to be an expert and present yourself as an expert before you get the opportunity. You can't wait for the opportunity before you start presenting yourself as an expert. No, you have to present yourself as an expert when you're pitching, and know that you're going to get rejections and you're going to get no answers, but that's okay. At least present yourself as an expert so people have an opportunity to review your platform and see what you're doing, and then they can go from there and they can make their decision.
I love it, man. There's so many communities that could use that message. They don't prepare for the moment, but they want to be able to stay. They don't have the character to stay in the moment because they're not prepared for it. So I definitely love that, man. It's really good stuff, bro. Really good stuff. All right, so tell me about Parent-Child Connect. Tell me where that came from, what sparked it. If there's a pain point involved, love to hear that from you, man. Go ahead and share that.
Yeah, so there's two reasons. So first, I graduated college as a 22-year-old, married with a 3-year-old girl, going on 4. So that was a lot going on. I was completely lost when it came to being a parent, although I thought I knew a lot. I didn't know what I didn't know, and which was a lot. So I knew that I had to establish a connection with my daughter. But as I alluded to before, and this is why I shared this, it was 4 boys. My 2 older sisters were almost like a second mom. They're older, more mature. They help bring me under their wings. But it wasn't that same kind of relationship as, the boys just battering into each other like rams. It just wasn't that. So now I have this delicate young girl that I have to take care of. And I'm fresh out of college. I'm young and I don't know anything about being a parent aside from what I've seen modeled in my home. So the first thing I thought is, okay, well, now I need to find ways to connect my child. And I learned the importance of connection to establish or create teachable and memorable experiences, because that's how you guide them. Somebody asked me one time, what does it mean to be a parenting advocate? Well, I'm advocating for parenting. What that means is I want people to actually go back into their home and start guiding and mentoring their children again, as we probably imagined, or as I had, and a lot of us had growing up. And so what I thought is I need to have something to sit down and connect with my children as they continue to get older so we can create these moments. And that's where my first book came from. It really started off as just an idea from me and my children to sit down and enjoy some time together. But then I was like, well, I might as well just try to publish it. And I went on Amazon and published it, and I was going to do like a book just for myself. And I was like, well, there's other dads out there like me. So let me see. I'll just try to send it to a couple people, see how they like it. And then it just sort of grew from there. And that's how it started. So that's how Parent-Child Connect started. It really began really from a spot in my heart for my children. And it also began with me seeing some of the guys back home who didn't have that community around them. So Parent-Child Connect is providing resources for not just parents, but parents, teachers, mentors, and caregivers to establish relationships with children so they can help guide them and build that, really be that community for those children, some who may not have that community at home.
I love that. I think we got a visitor trying to jump on stage with us. Were you aware of that happening?
I was not aware of that happening.
Somebody named Bria is trying to get on stage with us.
Oh, I'm not. That's interesting. I know a person named Bria.
Yeah, I know you married to her, right?
I did. I am married to her.
Okay. This has never happened before. I'm like, what do we do here? Am I bringing her on stage? Did she mean to go somewhere else by accident? What happened?
She may have been just trying to log into the live on YouTube or Facebook.
Oh,
that maybe was happening.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll since we're here, this is just kind of just happening. I'll get her a link to the live. All right, so, no worries.
Okay.
I'm going to help you out. I'm going to put this link in the comment section. All right, this should help you out hopefully. But I love this. This is fantastic. This is live stuff that happens and you just don't know what's going to happen. It's amazing. So, I'll take you out here shortly and get this here for you. So, all right, Bria, if you can see this link coming up, that's where you can jump into the live. All right. Hope to see you out there. Thanks for jumping in. All right, so we're good. You should have that. Hopefully you see that there. All right, so I love that. So in regards to your, it sounds like when I talk to you, maybe I misinterpreted it, but I feel like you had a love for reading, and I grew up with that same kind of love, a love for books. I mean, some of my favorite books were the dictionary and encyclopedia. Yeah, I was a nerd, admittedly, but those were my favorite books. Did I discern a love for reading from you? And if so, where'd that come from?
Yes, absolutely. So my mom, I will say, is I've had to credit her with the person who gave me a love for reading. But there's an asterisk here, and this is a warning for parents. If you make it mandatory, and you make it a chore, your children aren't gonna like it. So if you would have asked me the same question that you just asked me, probably when I was around, call it middle school, junior high, wherever you start getting rebellious. For me, it was a little bit early. It was around middle school. I hated reading. I refused. But yes, right now I love reading. I mean, in fact, I lost count of how many books I've read this year thus far. But it's been quite a few. I try to keep a book in my hand. Right now I'm in school, so I'm reading heavily on the things that we're studying. But I love reading, and I advocate for increasing literacy. I
love it. Tell us about Crow from the Shadow.
Yeah, so Crow from the Shadow was a book that's born from my upbringing. It did win an award, and this, again, just something that was a blessing. I wasn't expecting it. Thank you. But it is really because it speaks to people. Now, let's talk about Crow first. I like to talk about the characters. The Crow is not your likely hero. Nobody's going to look and say that I want a Crow to be the main character in my story. I chose it for a reason. I chose it because it's not likely to be a hero. I chose it because people look at a crow and they automatically assume something about said crow. And that's where the title came from, Crow from the Shadow. So the shadow is a person, a place, or thing that tells you you cannot be or you cannot do something. So what you'll see throughout the book, when you see Crow going in and saying that he loves this, he loves blue, but the shadow tells him wear black. He wants to play basketball. He wants to join service. He does all these things, but the shadow is telling him what he cannot do or what he should not do. And so he's being influenced by this shadow.
Wow.
And that's why I didn't clearly define what the shadow is, because I wanted the children to, as they're reading a book, start identifying what that shadow is for them. And believe it or not, it starts at about age 5 or 6. Believe it or not, as parents are sitting down with their children and they're starting to read, and they read the stories with them and they go through continue the conversation questions, they realize their children are a little bit more insightful than they believed. So when they're reading the story and they realize, oh, this shadow is telling him not to do. Who is the shadow? And when you ask that question to your child, sometimes it hurts. One parent told me they asked their child that question. They said, "Oh, mommy, you're my shadow."
Oh,
and I was like, "Ooh, well, that was tough." And it was good for the parent to know that they, in order, they're trying to protect their child and they're trying to lead their child in the right way. But instead of them encouraging them to pursue their goals and their dreams and their ambitions, they were accidentally misdirecting them and saying, well, that's good that you want to do that, but this is a more secure plan. It's good that you want to be a professional athlete, but you probably should focus more on something else, and things of that nature. And they're just trying to protect their child. God bless her. But I was so happy that she shared that with me because that's exactly, like, we do it all the time. It's just part of who we are. We want to protect our children. But that's just what it is. The shadow could be where you're from. The shadow for me was, hey, man, you shouldn't join the Marine Corps, because you're a salutatorian of my small class at Salesboro, but you're a salutatorian of your class. Why are you joining the Marine Corps? Or why are you going to Grambling State? All they do there is party and drop out. This things were actually told to me by adults, mentors, quote unquote, supposed to be mentors in my life. And these are things that are being told. And I'm like, well, no, number one, Grambling State has now set me up for success through all the opportunities they provided me. I joined the Marine Corps and I've learned so much more and traveled to places I never thought I would travel in my life and met some phenomenal people. And all these things that I've been able to overcome because I finally learned the value in not allowing the shadow, whatever that is, or whoever that is for you, to tell me what I cannot do. And the overall message, and again, this is why I chose a crow, is when you see a crow outside, you think about the last sentence in that book. It says, only one can determine my future. That one is me. And that's what I want people to think of. I want children to think of that when they see crows picking through the trash or whatever crows are doing in your neighborhood. You say, only one can determine my future. That one is me. And you take back control of your fate.
No, I love that. And Mom, you're not a shadow. I'm not a New York Yankee because of you. I'm not acting because of you. And I'm not in the military because of you. But you're not a shadow, Mom. I love you. Those are all the things I want to do in life. And you just destroy all of it. Oh, and I'm not a professional wrestler because of you, Mom. So love you. Okay, so you talked about fatherhood and raising resilient kids. If you can, when you get done laughing at me, tell me what was the biggest challenge as a father in the quest to raise resilient kids, especially in today's climate? What was the biggest challenge you noticed? And I know that Bree is watching now, so I'm like, afraid to answer how you see fit because you live in that house. I don't. So think about that. But tell me your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Well, it's okay. I'll just barricade myself in the office. No, but I will say that the biggest part as a father is trying to build something and then in order to build something outside the home. So talking about building Parent-Child Connect or my career as a Marine or whatever other endeavors, that does is it pulls you away from family at times. And really, as a Marine, that's called deployments. That's called time training in the field. You're pulled. There's time that you're being pulled away that sort of distracts or in a way can take away from your ability to help your children build resilience. And what that taught me, it just goes back to that first lesson we were talking about, the structure and the habits. What that taught me is I have to make best use of the time that I do have in order to help make them more resilient. Because my children, they're wonderful. I love them to death. I think they're phenomenal people. But they actually, there it is. Give the thumbs up just in case they're watching too. Yeah, yeah, there it is. So you guys get kudos from Dad today. So you can
there you go. There you go.
Ice cream or something. But I do believe that they're resilient because they're put in positions to grow. And one thing that we try to do as parents is take a step back. As a father, again, I just talked about how protective I was. I'm the dad who was stuck in Chuck E. Cheese trying to chase my daughter around. We went on a father-daughter day, and I decided to go try to chase her through the little playpen at Chuck E. Cheese and got stuck. That was me in the early days. But then I realized you have to take a step back to allow them to grow a little bit. So some of that is just discovery learning. But I would say the distance, whether it be physical distance or whether it be you're in the home, but you need to separate a little bit, I would say that's probably the hardest thing as a father in relation to try to help children build resilience.
Oh, I love this, man. It's really good stuff, man. You mentioned about leading last. What's that mean and why is that important now?
It's twofold. So especially in military service, we are taught you have to have command presence. You walk in a room, people should know you're there. That's just part of being a leader. But what it does is it gives this perception that just like on the movies, you see King Leonidas and he's standing out in front, he's all shredded and he's yelling in front of everybody. And that's just like what the perception of what a good leader is. But in reality, a good leader is one who serves his team. He's the one who is always there to provide resources for his team to be better. And lead last, the second portion of it is he's doing things to create a culture and an impact that lasts beyond his tenure at the organization or his time here on earth. So those are really the two reasons. It's really flipping the phenomenon on his head. It's no longer, you enter the room and you're the first one, the loudest one in the room. No, it's really you're the one who's providing resources to others to help them grow and develop.
I love that. One thing that I think you and I share, and it's not because we're considered Black and brown people, it's mainly because we just care about the community and young men like us and the next generation. You seem pretty passionate about keeping kids out of bad situations that hinder their future, or at least hinder them from having a bright future. What do you believe is the community's role in this mission? What's your part in this, or your goal, your desired goal for this as well? Go ahead.
Absolutely. So one thing that the children's books have given the opportunity to do is go back into schools and read and engage with children. And you're right. People talk about representation as if it's not important anymore. And I want to just be one to boldly tell you representation is extremely important because the image that we're showing our children, especially our young men, is the image that they're going to have in their minds forever. So when we're growing up and we're watching BET, and it's not me knocking entertainers or athletes, but when we're growing up and we're watching these entertainers, of course we aspire to be them because that's the image that we see. So when our young men are growing up and maybe the only image they see in their community is maybe not the best example, then that's what they're going to aspire to be like. And so my goal is to not only myself find time to go out to these schools and find time to go and demonstrate to these young men that, hey, there is a different way. There's other possibilities. You can write, you can join the Marine Corps, you can be an author, you can go out, you can be a doctor, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. But not just that, but encourage others to go into their community and become a part of the solution. And I'll give an example. I think I was telling you in our pre-interview that my dad, one thing about my dad is when he showed up at the school, we knew what was going down. Like you don't want that man showing up. And that man is not necessarily the biggest guy. You talk about lead last and the guy filling the room. My dad's not the biggest guy. I think he's 5'7", probably a $150, soaking wet. But when he showed up at the school, he might as well have been a 6'9", 360 pounder because that guy, well, you knew it was going down. Now, and this is the dynamic that we had. If I were getting in trouble, I'm pushing the limits and the teachers are seeing me go in that direction, they'll say, you know better. You better stop. And if I keep pushing, let's see what she got. Let's see what she's going to do. Then all of a sudden, she's like, don't make me call your dad. Whoops. All right. Shoot, that's all you have to say. I'm done. You straighten up. But then you have this other dynamic where this other young man is doing the same thing or worse. And what do they do with that young man? Because his father may not be in the home or his father may not be anywhere in the picture. He doesn't have a role, anybody who can come. God bless his mother, who's probably working 3 jobs to make ends meet. So they can't call her. She doesn't have time to come to the school. So what do they do with him? They put him in the back of the classroom. They let him keep clowning. They send him to the office, or they put him out in a separate room for an in-school suspension or whatever. And then they pass him. And then finally they get to an age as a teenager where they can drop out, and they drop out of school and become part of the system. And I've watched this cycle continue for years. And so I'm challenging others to be a part of that community, be a part of that solution, right? Because we all can be a part of the ones who just ostracize them and say they're bad kids, which is that makes me cringe every time I hear people say that. But we can be a part of that crowd that says that they're bad and just sort of put them to the side and let them go by the wayside and just say that, it's statistics, right? Because, he's just one of the statistics. He's one of 4. Or we can be a part of the solution and say, hey, man, and I've seen this happen, and particularly in one of my buddies, I've seen somebody invest in them and say, hey, no, I'm not putting you in the back of the classroom. You come sit right up here. And, he did all this stuff. And then she said, no, you're going to come sit right up here. Her name's Miss Arthur. I'll never forget her. And she invested time in this young man. And she invested time trying to help him and teach him. And she gave us the most work. I think an English teacher, I believe it was 8th grade. I've never seen a teacher give so much work. But Miss Arthur gave us so much work. But that was the one class that I've seen him do all his work in. And it's because she took time to invest in him. And that was the part that I think that sometimes we forget. We don't appreciate our teachers enough. But I believe that we need to start, number one, investing in them. And number two, surrounding our children as a community and helping them grow into the adults that we need them to be.
Copy that, man. I love this. This is good stuff. We're up against it now. So I got 2 more questions for you. This is normally the last question. We're going to shift things a little bit. I'll explain why in a bit. But our CMV question is normally the last one of the show. In this case, it's not. But CMV stands for Career, Mission, Vocation. We talked about it a little bit. I'm taking everything that you've done up to this point off the table. What are you most likely doing with your life right now? Career-wise, vocation-wise, or mission-wise? What do you think that is?
Yeah, so I probably would still do something with children, but I believe I'll be a coach. I think I'll be coaching basketball, or at least trying to, because I love this. I love the game. I love sports. And
What's that? You love the NBA?
I think I prefer college. I am a LeBron fan. And if I were, I always tell people if I were probably about 6 to 8 inches taller and a little bit more skilled, I would be an NBA myself, actually. But since you're talking about realistic jobs, I think I would be coaching. That was really my passion.
This is really good, man. I'm gonna ask this last question. I'm gonna allow you to have 2 minutes of our time. Some challenge with audio here. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. All right. I don't know what happened there. But if there's one thing that you can our listeners walk away with in this conversation, what would that be? And after that,
yeah, I think I got your question. If one thing that listeners can walk away with, if there was one thing that I can, 1 second. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. But if you can hear me, I can go ahead and kick it. Still can't hear you. It's a little buzz right now.
this is happening on live podcast, though.
Hey, it's part of it. Technology never works. So I think I can run with it. I think we're good now. I'll just run with it. So I will say the key takeaway, if I had to say one thing for all the listeners, is that I encourage you to continue to invest in yourself. If you're watching this, I'm proud of you. I think you're doing a phenomenal job of just trying to make a difference in your life. So my recommendation is to keep pushing, keep trying, and don't forget to chase your dreams. If there's ever anything I can ever give somebody, I always talk about what chasing success is like. I always tell people that chasing success requires 4 things. Number 1, dream. So I ask you, I implore you to dream in high definition. Act like that you are. Just imagine the thing that you said that you'll never do. I love that CMV question. So dream again. And I want you to think about that. Then I want you to offload that dream. So write it down. Don't worry about structure yet, but write down that dream, capture it in some way. A plan. Sure you plan details on how you're going to achieve that. Apply your resources and figure out how you're going to do it, and then execute. So that's the word: dream, offload, plan, execute. And I'm so excited to be here, Mr. U. So I'm going to tell you guys how to find me. You can find me at www.parent-child-connect.com. Again, that's www.parent-child-connect.com. You can reach out to me. You can go on there and see all the free resources that we have, see the blogs that we talk, things where we talk about Download the free resources. You can see the relationship, the content partnership I have with the YouVersion Bible app. You can also see the Ogunyemi Family Foundation, where we love investing in young people back in Lincoln Parish. So I look forward to hear from you guys. And Mr. Yu, I definitely appreciate this opportunity to come on and talk to your wonderful audience.